Hey everybody, here I am in my submarine lair now because I'm in hiding. So I'm under the water. I can't tell you undisclosed location and all that. Deep in hiding because of what I'm about to report to you. It's been a really crazy week for the accreditation bodies in the ISO scheme, and for all those members of the International Accreditation Forum, the IAF, which is supposed to be enforcing the accreditation rules to make sure that everybody's playing by the books and not cheating. And I don't know. Seem to be having a rough time of it. This is like one little 7-day slice. Just 7 days of activity. And let's take a look at all the stuff that's happened. Let's start with these guys here. Where am I? SCB, IAPMO. You probably read about this, but what happened there was that the consulting company ProShop, and they make a MRP system, an ERP system, they were given a live webinar. And in the middle of the webinar, one of their one of their clients was bragging about how great they did with their thing, and they said they implemented, AS 9100 in just a couple weeks, etc. Well, I think one of them was 40 days, another one was 2 weeks, but one of them said that. And then one of the clients admitted on a live webinar that their certification body, who's these guys, IAPMO SCB, charged them for a 2-day audit, but then left after 4 hours. Now, let me just check something here. According to my calculations, that's theft. They charged you for 2 days. They only did 4 hours. They billed you for 2 days. They stole your money. I don't think that's legal. But I don't know. Maybe they had a reason. Maybe there's more to the story. We don't know. But anyway, what we do know is that the AS 9100 scheme has minimum audit days. You can't do a half-day stage 2 audit. You can't do it. And they had calculated it out, excuse me, they calculated it out as requiring a 2-day audit, and they only did a half day, and they left, and they gave them a certificate. Then the client said that as a result of this certificate they got, through what appears to have been a fraudulent audit, they went and they actually got a contract to be making airplane parts. And they said all of this on a live webinar. So as soon as the webinar recording was published, and I had the evidence, I filed a complaint with these guys, SCB. What did they do? They didn't process the complaint. They worked behind the scenes to get the video removed, and they succeeded. Within 24 hours, the video was taken down. So they deleted the evidence, except I have a copy. I don't know what they were thinking. Of course, I made a copy. That's why I waited for it to be published before I filed the complaint. I made a copy. So we have the video. And then behind the scenes, they closed the complaint without any action. The company's still certified. The auditor wasn't punished. Nothing appears to have happened. I can't see. But if I look in Oasis, I see the company's still certified. The auditor's still fully qualified. There's no dates changed. They didn't do an extra audit. So it doesn't seem like anything happened. If something happened behind the scenes, the records haven't been updated yet to indicate that. But it looks like we know they deleted the video. That's what they did. And then they didn't respond to the complaint in accordance with either their own procedures or the requirements of ISO 17021, which they're supposed to be held accountable to. So now, who does it go to? Now it goes to these guys. So now it's escalated to ANAB. So this just happened, right? We just escalated this complaint to ANAB, and we'll see if they do anything about it. So far, ANAB has not even responded to this. They usually respond within 1 day, but they haven't. I'll give them some time. They may need time, but now it's in ANAB's hand. ANAB needs to go ask, why did this company do these various things? And by the way, the 4-hour audit of a 2-day audit is only one of the things they did. The other thing they did was they had their auditor participate in an ad, shoot a video for ProShop, and you're not allowed to do that either. And he was wearing the SCB t-shirt and everything. You're not allowed to do that. You're supposed to be auditing, and he's shooting a video telling how great ProShop is. They're not allowed to do that. Right? And then another thing they did was they booked their stage 1 and stage 2 back to back, which you're not allowed to do. And so there's multiple aspects to this that SCB didn't answer any of them. They just closed it. They just closed the complaint in Oasis and shut it down, but they deleted the evidence. So now they're probably saying it never happened. Well, I've got a copy if you want it. So now ANAB's on the job on that one, right? So that's number 1, right? Then we filed another complaint against ANAB itself because ANAB was caught over the course of a year or maybe 2, running webinars and promoting videos where they promote a consulting company called Ideagen, and specifically the Ideagen QMS product called QualTrax. And repeatedly, this representative from ANAB keeps saying to the people watching the video how good Ideagen is and what it can do, and it can do this and do that. Well, ANAB is not allowed to do that because now ANAB auditors are going to go into a company with a conflict of interest, with no objectivity and partiality. So if I implement Ideagen, ANAB's going to come in and be warm and fuzzy, and they're not going to audit me at the same level of rigor and objectivity as they would if they come in and they see that I use some other product because they're out there marketing for them. So that is a violation of ISO 17011. We filed that complaint. Now that one they did confirm, so we'll see if they do anything about it. But we're not done yet. It's been a rough week. Next, it doesn't stop. We filed a third complaint with ANAB because we found out that they're on LinkedIn and on their website, they're selling what they call fully customized, tailored training related to the accreditation services that they provide. So if they do ISO 17025, they're going to come in and train you on how to implement it. Now they're allowed to do training that they say is in the public domain, that it's general information. So they can give a public seminar so long as they don't give each of the attendees specific advice on how that company is going to implement the particular standard, because then ANAB's going to audit their own consulting advice, and they're not allowed to do that. So they can give a public class, but they can't tailor it, they can't customize it, they can't make it specific. And that's exactly what ANAB's website says they're doing. They're tailoring the classes to give you specific advice on how to implement the thing that they're going to then come in and allegedly objectively audit. They're not allowed to do that either. What I suspect is going to happen, that complaint was filed. I think that one was not confirmed yet, so they haven't answered it. One of the three was not confirmed, so I'm not sure yet which one. But anyway, it looks like that one they haven't confirmed yet. But they're in kind of a bind there because I know what they're going to do. They're going to blame the website guy. They're going to say our website was inappropriate, the language, and they're just going to change the website and take out the words tailored. They're still going to sell those. I'm betting if you call them and say, listen, we need specific consulting advice on how to implement this thing, but call it training, they're going to say, oh yeah, sure. But their website won't offer that anymore. So that's what I suspect will happen. ANAB will just fix the website. But what a mess. Again, so that's number 3, right? So we had one complaint about IAPMO SCB and the ProShop thing go to ANAB. ANAB against Ideagen, and the ANAB thing related to their promotion of their own tailored training, right? So that's that. Then we go to UKAS. So a long time ago, dating all the way back to 2019, somebody filed a complaint against URS because there's a consultant out there who is marketing URS's service in the quote. They quote the consulting, and then right below the quote for the price is the certification by URS, and then it's totaled up to one price. So you're buying one contract for the consulting and the certification, which you can't do. You're not allowed to do that. UKAS inexplicably issued a ruling saying that this is perfectly fine. It happens all the time, and that it's okay so long as there's no contract where it's in writing. And essentially, UKAS said, well, they can do all this stuff, which we call bribery. If you see my YouTube channel, you'll see I have a video on the fact that UKAS endorsed bribery. This is what they're doing. And they said you basically can do this so long as you don't have any evidence. If you put it in a contract to create evidence, then UKAS will have to take action. So we filed a complaint. That's complaint number 4. We filed a complaint with UKAS about that. UKAS has not responded at all. They've just ignored it, which is just bizarre. And then the 5th one, so we're not done. This is a 7-day period, just 7 days. And mind you, this is happening while World Accreditation Day is going on. Everybody's out there, the IAF, UKAS, ANAB, they're all bragging about World Accreditation Day. And during the week of World Accreditation Day, they're not doing the accreditation they're supposed to. So the 5th one could end up in somebody in handcuffs. It's unlikely, but it might. The United Accreditation Foundation is an accreditation body that is run out of India. And you'd have to go into my website to find out the whole thing, but they have a U.S. address. And for years they were using the U.S. address of a medical doctor who was a buddy of the guy who runs it. And then he finally got tired of having his address, so he got rid of it. And they have allegedly a U.S. address. But they registered their company in the United States dating back to, I believe, 2014, maybe 2016. And in Delaware, it says that they registered as an exempt company, meaning they're nonprofit, right? Tax exempt. And all of their marketing ever since then including up till now, we're in June of 2024, insists that it is a U.S. not-for-profit company. All right? Which means that they take money and they don't pay taxes on it. They're not-for-profit. The one problem is this. The UAF apparently never actually filed paperwork with the Internal Revenue Service or the United States government to become an actual tax-exempt organization. They just said they were. And then they took money and presumably they didn't pay taxes on it. Now, they're a U.S. company registered in Delaware. So the fact that it's being run by a guy out of India does not matter. Under U.S. law, a U.S. company has to collect taxes no matter where in the world it gathers clients up. So the UAF claims to be a U.S. company. All of its clients are in India. Doesn't matter. They got to pay U.S. taxes on that because they're a U.S. company. Now, maybe they got some complicated way out of it, and I don't know about because I'm not a tax accountant, so maybe there's a way out of it. But as it stands now, they have never filed for their tax status, meaning their 501c3, no filing with the IRS, and yet they've been collecting money and accrediting bodies and apparently not paying any taxes. If this is true, and we don't know, they may have a completely justified reason. There may be some paperwork that's not available, but if you're a nonprofit in the United States, all this stuff's supposed to be public, and it's not. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what their explanation is, but maybe they have one. But if it's true, they're guilty of felony tax evasion, and the guy running it, who is out in Delhi, in India, should be arrested. Now, they're not going to go to India and extradite the guy, because, I mean, especially, I don't think he made that much money. They're not going to do it, so he's going to get away with it. But they're going to have to, shut down his whole thing. And in the meantime, he's in the IAF. And the IAF has been notified of all of this for a long time now, and they have refused to eject the United Accreditation Forum from the official IAF. So that's just 1 week. 5 complaints alleging conflicts of interest, self-dealing, and in one case, potentially felony tax fraud, all being done by IAF member accreditation bodies. And yet, no action by the IAF. And to be honest with you, we will most certainly not see any action on the part of the IAF. They won't do anything because the IAF does not exist to actually oversee accreditation in the world. It exists to collect money and in exchange provide protection. If you pay the money to the IAF, they will run and they will start to mount a defense. They'll probably issue a defense on the UAF. They'll say, oh, we don't worry about the taxes or anything. And until another body like the IRS or the Department of Justice steps in and investigates these companies for criminal fraud, the IAF's not going to do anything. And that's really what needs to happen. Is the Department of Justice needs to investigate the IAF for criminal fraud or their assistance in their participation in these kind of things to allow these fraudulent schemes to go on. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So what a week. What a crazy week. That's just one little 7-day slice. 5 complaints filed. I think only a handful of them. The UAF has refused to even acknowledge it, so that's now going to go to the IAF to handle. Some of them acknowledged, some of them ignored, but we see the level of intense corruption in this scheme that must be fixed. Got airplanes falling out of the sky. We got people getting hurt. Children's products, medical products, and everything are all in play here. And the IAF could do its job. All the rules are in place. But we need Victor Gandhi, who's heading up the IAF now, and Elva Nilsson, to do their job. And I want to warn you, okay? I did talk to an attorney. It is conceivable that Victor Gandhi and Elva Nilsson could be held personally accountable and responsible for any crimes that may be tracked back to the IAF, since that was under their administration. Is any of that going to happen? I don't have any faith anymore, to be honest with you. I just don't. I don't think so. I think we're in a world now where corruption's cool. I think it's just corruption's cool. And I'm a dinosaur because I think it shouldn't be. But it needs to be investigated. Department of Justice needs to step in. This has international implications. There are federal contracts that are awarded based on IAF endorsements. And if those endorsements are fraudulent, then they need to be investigated. And of course, obviously, public safety is a major issue. So anyway, there you go. Cool week. Congratulations, IAF. Keep at it.